వచ్చి అదేనా నేను మధ్యలో మాట్లాడలే నా ప్రకారం బాగానే ఉంటుంది ఒకవేళ ఇబ్బంది ఉంటే అతను ఫోన్ చేయి ఓకే సరే హలో Hi guys, I think I'm live now. If you can see me, if you can hear me, if everything is good, please do let me know. Please do like the stream, guys. I want to get to at least 250 likes before the stream ends. These 250 likes are important to us because the more likes we get, the more encouraged we will be to conduct these kind of sessions more regularly. So please do like the stream, please subscribe to our channel and please click on the bell icon. We'll be doing 2 LRDI sets today. Both the sets will have 10 minutes each for you to solve and after that I will explain. In the meantime, if you have any questions with respect to your CAT preparation or with respect to LRDIs, you can always ask in the chat and I will reply back. Please go to kraku.in/live to take part in the test. Both the sets I think are very, very useful. The first set is part a table, reading data from a table and also part logical reasoning. The second one is pure data interpretation. The second one in my opinion is a easier set as compared to the first one. But both of them I think are very, very useful for you with respect to your CAT preparation. So please go to kraku.in/live. The first set will be on your screen in exactly another 2 minutes. If you have any doubts or any queries, please do ask in the set. Navda Mangal, LRDI sectional solutions are not available for some sections. Please make video available. Yeah, we will be making the video solutions for all the LRDI sections also. I think right now around 70% of them have video solutions. The remaining 30% also will upload the video solutions very soon. For example, quant sectionals, all of them have video solutions now. Next, we are preparing the video solutions for LRDI. Just give us maybe a couple of weeks or so. We'll try to get them, all of them up. Please go to kraku.in/live guys and take part in the test. The first set will be on your screen very shortly. Okay. This is the first set. Please try to answer it. This is not a very difficult set. A set which is very similar to this was actually asked in one of the recent CATs, maybe in CAT 2021. So you can understand that this is a useful set and a important set. Yes, yes, Banana. Thank you. నేను కూడా వైజాగ్ అండి నేను born and brought up in వైజాగ్ good evening Vikas, how are you? Good evening Talha. Shravani Naik, I think your scores are dropping because of nervousness. Don't worry about it. Don't take too much stress about scores not your scores not being consistent in the last couple of mocks. Just focus on the long run. You will do well. Don't worry about it. Just continue to take mocks. Sir, though I know my concepts, I'm scoring very less in DLR. What to do? Practice చేయాలా లేదా previous questions? What do I focus on? Getting worried now. Okay, what should I do? See, in LRDI especially, you have to focus on practice. Lot more important than concepts is practice. Concepts in LRDI basically involves figuring out how to represent data. Other than that, there is not a lot of concepts that are involved in DLR as compared to either reading comprehension or verbal ability or quant. All of these quant and verbal, for example, are concept heavy. DLR should be more about practice. Rahul Roy saying, sir, I'm losing confidence if I don't solve one question also. Don't worry about it. You should not lose confidence. Basically, the way I look at it is that all of you are adults. You will have these kind of ups and downs. And the whole point is that you should motivate yourself. You should know how to motivate yourself. That also is a key trait that is observed in managers. If you want to do an MBA and become a manager, you should know how to motivate yourself. Because if you know how to motivate yourself, only then will you be able to motivate others. And one of the key aspects of being a manager is being able to motivate others. If you're not able to motivate yourself when the chips are down, how will you motivate others? So that is something which is very important. You'll have to learn that skill. Anubhav Rai saying how to pick up LRD assets. I've made a stream on this yesterday. The stream is uploaded on our YouTube videos. Just go to our YouTube channel, click on the live button. Once you go to live, you'll get all the previous streams. This stream we have done yesterday. Mithul is saying, sir, can you make a whole session on algebra? Yeah, we'll be making a session on algebra most probably next week. Definitely, please click on the bell icon and be alert. Every day we are trying to do a session at 8 p.m. At least on Mondays, Thursdays and Sundays. So one of these days we'll be having a session on algebra very soon. Satish Samrat is saying, sir, I joined Kraku crash course. How can I manage both mocks and daily schedule? See, mocks is something that you have to take at least once every week. Okay, it is not an option, especially with 1.5 months left for CAT. You will have to take them. So you'll have to prepare accordingly. You'll have to manage your time also accordingly. Not able to score more than 15 in quant even after solving almost all quant sectionals and good amount of questions. What to do? I end up spending 2-3 minutes per question in each question and then still left unsolved. See, in quant you'll have to attempt a lot of questions before the mocks. You'll have to practice a lot of questions. Not just taking mocks and sectionals, you'll have to practice and solve a lot of questions on your own before taking a mock. And you have to believe, I know that in quant out of 22 questions, at least 7-8 questions will be easy questions. What do I mean by easy? If somebody is scoring around say 80 marks in their 10th standard in maths, they will be able to get at least 7 questions correct. That is my definition of easy. Somebody who is scoring 80% in CBSE in maths, they will be able to get at least 7 to 8 questions correct in 40 minutes. Okay. Now you have to believe that. Now once, if you are getting 7 questions correct, that itself is 21 marks. So, and if you are preparing for CAT, if you're answering a lot of questions, the progress will definitely be there. Don't worry about it. You'll have to again have that confidence in yourself, in the hard work that you're putting in and your own ability. Guys, please do like the stream. I want to get to at least 150 likes before the stream ends. Chaitanya Jain is saying, I've taken Kraku mocks and as you say, dash cats are the closest to CAT. Are the sectionals also closest to CAT level? See, sectionals, we have given some sections which are easy, some sectionals which are difficult because we play around with the sectionals. We want to give students all sorts of experiences. So sectionals, you will see that there will be a variety of them. Some of them will be very easy, some of them will be very difficult, some of them will be medium level difficulty. But dash cats are on point. We prepare our dash cats with a lot of effort. We try to mimic the CAT difficulty level in all the 3 sections, in quant, LRDA and verbal. I get many people to actually take the dash cats, many people in my office, so that I get a sense of what is the difficulty level. We put in so much effort to ensure that the difficulty level of dash cats mimic actual CAT. So if you have enrolled to our dash cats, definitely take them. Take all the 15 dash cats and the 5 head start mocks. All of them will be very, very useful. You will get a very good experience in them. And again, when you're taking the dash cats, take them very seriously. Don't give any half-hearted efforts. If you're taking a dash cat, at least go into a room, be alone, give it a good shot. Take it very seriously like you take an actual mock. That is like you take an actual examination. That is how you actually gain the most from the dash cats. And they're taken by thousands of students. Every day we see thousands of students taking our dash cats and our daily targets. Both of them are very useful. If you're enrolled to the dash cats and daily targets, they will help you quite a lot. Talha Kudwai saying 60% is coming in mock, sir. Okay, try to not worry about the result, try to improve your performance, try to ensure that you are getting better at the academics, trying to get better at the foundations, then the results will follow. Guys, please do like the stream. There's 70 people who are watching this stream live. I want to get to at least 150 likes before the stream ends. Somebody is asking what is head start mocks. Head start mocks are the mocks that we have released before any of the dash cats started. There are 5 head start mocks. All of them are preloaded and we release 1 dash cat every 2 weeks. So there are 15 dash cats and there are 5 head start mocks. There are a total of 20 full length mocks on our Kraku platform. All of them have detailed video solutions. Sudan Bhaskar is saying, sir, sometimes I'm solving two LRDA sets, but sometimes I'm getting stuck in a set. And I'm not able to solve any set, even when I'm switching to another set. Sudan Bhaskaran, I made a very nice video in which I discussed the strategy that you should have when you're actually attempting the LRDA sets, the LRDA sectional in general. How should you approach it? What should your mindset be? And I also gave 5 very nice tips, which I think will help you quite a lot. So definitely go through my yesterday's video. We'll probably post the link for it also in the chat. Or if you want it, you can go to our YouTube channel, click on the live button where you will see all our previous streams. This was a stream that I did yesterday, so you should definitely watch it. Okay guys, let us try to answer this question. This is a fairly nice set. Like I mentioned earlier, this kind of a set was asked in one of the recent CAT examinations also. So it is useful for you to know it. So basically what is told is that there are 9 classrooms: CR1, CR2, CR3, CR4, CR5, CR6, CR7, CR8 and CR9. And each one of them has a different number of students in it. Not necessarily unique, but each classroom has some students in it. In this table, we are given the sum of 4 classrooms taken at a time. For example, over here we are told that the sum of all the students in CR1, CR2, CR3 and CR4 is 405. Similarly, the sum of all the students in CR7, CR8, CR9 and CR1 is 480 and so on. Now, if you are looking at them as 9 different variables, the number of people who are part of each of these classrooms is say a particular variable. There are 9 variables. And how many equations do you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 variables. So there are 9 equations and 9 variables. So you should be able to solve this. Let us try to solve it. What is the easiest way to solve it? In these kind of problems, always look for symmetry. When you look for symmetry, things become easy. For example, if you look at it, CR1 is there once, twice, thrice and 4 times. Similarly, CR2 is there once, twice, thrice and 4 times. CR3 will also be there 4 times. CR4 will also be there 4 times, and all of these CRs are there 4 times. You can verify it, but that is there. Once you understand it, if you are adding all of these 9 equations, we are going to get 4 times CR1 plus CR2 plus CR3 plus CR4 plus CR5 plus CR6 plus CR7 plus CR8 plus CR9. And what is the value of this? This value will be equal to 405 plus 480 plus all of these numbers. We'll try to calculate the sum. 545 plus 495 will be 550 plus 490, which is 950 plus 90, which is 1040. You add 515 and 405, this is 920. You add 480 and 920, you get 1400. 1400 and 500 is 1900. 465 plus 445 is 800, 910. 470 plus 1040 is 1510. This is 2420. This is 4320. So 4 times the sum of all of them is equal to 4320. Or the sum of all of these classrooms, CR1 plus CR2 plus dot 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 plus CR9 is equal to 4320 divided by 4, which is 1080. This would immediately tell us that the answer for the first question is option E. The sum of all the people in the classrooms is, the first question is 1080. Once we got it, you will figure out that we actually have to calculate the number of students in each of them. How are you going to do it? You can do it because now you have the sum of all of them. You have the value of CR1 plus CR2 plus CR3 plus CR4 plus dot 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 till CR9. Now if you look at this one over here, this is the value of CR1 plus CR2 plus CR3 plus CR4. Similarly, if you're looking at this, you get the value of CR6 plus CR7 plus CR8 plus CR9. Using these two equations, we can calculate the value of CR5. You have CR1, CR2, CR3, CR4, CR5, CR6, CR7, CR8 and CR9. This is 405 plus 545 is 910. 950. The difference between 1080 and 950 is just CR5 because this has the first 4, this has the last 4, the middle number is missing, so that will be equal to 1080 minus 950, which is equal to 130. Similarly, if you are looking at another set, this is 5, 6, 7, 8 and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you add both of them, you are going to get 920. I'm adding the first 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. The only number missing is CR9, so that will be equal to 160. You can continue the same thing. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 7, 8, 9 and 1. So the only number that is missing is 6. So if you add both of them, you are going to get 945. The difference between 1080 and 945 is 135, that is CR6. Next, if you are looking at anything else, let us look at this one for example. This is 9, 1, 2, 3. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. If you are adding these two, the only number that is missing is CR8. And the sum of these two is 500 plus 440, which is 940, which is 140. So CR8 will be 140. Let us look at something else. Okay. This is 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is 8, 9, 1, 2. If you are adding these two, the only number that is missing is CR7. So CR7, these two is adding up to 970. So CR7 will be 110. Once you have this much, you have 5, 6, 7 and 8. Let us see, using this for example, this is 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7 is totaling up to 495. 5, 6 and 7 will total up to 130 plus 135 plus 110. This is equal to 375. So using this, we can calculate that CR4 will be equal to 120. Now we can continue the same thing that we are going to do. Whatever we have done till now, we can continue the same thing. Here 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 500. 4 is 120, 5 is 130, 6 is 135. The sum of these three will be 300, 350, 385. So this would tell us that CR3 has to be 115. Now we are just left with 1 and 2. Here if you are looking at this one for example, 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 1 is 480. 7 is 110, 8 is 140, 9 is 160. These three will total up to 410. Therefore CR1 has to be 70. Now we are only left with CR2. We can look at any of the equations which contain CR2, we will be able to answer it. For example, if you are looking at this one, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 405. 1 is 70, 3 is 115, 4 is 120. The sum of all of them is 235 plus 70 is 305. This would tell us that CR2 has to be 100. Let me know if you have understood till now. If you have understood till now, we will look at how to answer the next questions. Now once we have gotten this much, we know for each of the 9 classrooms, what is the number of people who are part of these 9 classrooms. Once we have gotten this understanding, what we have to figure out is what is the percentage of girls in each of these 9 classrooms. We know that for some of them it is 10%, for some of them it is 15%, for some of them it is 20%, for some of them it is 25%, for one of them it is 30%, for one of them it is 35%, for one of them it is 40%, for one of them it is 45%, and for one of them it is 50%. We know that if you multiply the number of students in a classroom with the percentage of girls, you should get a natural number. You should not get a fraction. You cannot have 16.5 girls. You will either have 16 girls or 17 girls. That number of girls has to be a natural number. That is the clue and that is the information that you have to actually figure out the percentage of girls in each of the 9 classrooms. Specifically, if you are looking at CR3 and CR6, these two are odd numbers. These two are multiples of 5, but they are not multiples of 10. Every other number from CR1 to CR9 is a multiple of 10. So this would put a lot more restrictions on CR3 and CR6. For example, it cannot be 10%. Because if the percentage of girls in CR3 is 10%, the number of girls will be 11.5. That is not allowed. It cannot be 15%. It can be 20%. It cannot be 25%, it cannot be 30%, it cannot be 35%, it can be 40%. It cannot be 45% or 50%. This would tell us that CR3 has to be either 20% or 40%. Similarly, CR6 also for the same reason has to be either 20% or 40%. Let me write it here. CR6 is 135, CR7 is 110, CR8 is 140. I'm just writing it so that there is more space. CR9 is 160. For CR3 and CR6, we know that this is either 20% or 40%. What about CR1? CR1 has 70. 70 can be 10%, that works, but 70 cannot have 15%, because 70 into 15% will be equal to 10.5. That is not allowed. So CR1 can be either 10%, 20% we already know is either CR3 or CR6. 25% also is not allowed for CR1 because 70 into 25% is not a natural number. 30% is allowed. 35% is not allowed, 45% is not allowed, 50% is again allowed for CR1. Similarly, for CR5, it is either 10% or 30% or 50%. Similarly, for CR7, it is either 10% or 30% or 50%. So we are done with 10, 30 and 50. The remaining is 15, 25, 35 and 45. They will belong to CR2. This is 15, 25, 35 and 45. Or 120, this is 15, 25, 35 and 45. Or CR8 and CR 15, 25, 35 and 45. I'll write it again, don't worry, even if you're getting confused. Basically what we are saying is 15, 25, 35 and 45. Basically for all the 9 classrooms, we are able to figure out the number of students in each of the 9 classrooms. And we have also figured out that there are 9 percentages available, but each of the numbers, if you multiply with each of the 9 percentages, for many cases, it is not a natural number. It is a natural number only for some specific cases. Let me clear all of this and I'll write it again so that there is no confusion. For CR1, the number is 70. For CR2, the number is 100. For CR3, the number is 115. For CR4, the number is 120. For CR5, the number is 130. For CR6, the number is 135. For CR7, the number is 110. For CR8, the number is 140. And for CR9, the number is 160. Like we discussed earlier, for 115 and 135, that is for CR3 and CR6, these are the only 2 odd numbers. So the percentages have to be either 20 or 40. Nothing else will make the number of girls in these classrooms a natural number. So this is 20 or 40. So we are done with 20 and 40. Next, if you're looking at 70, 130 and 110, these are multiples of 10 but not multiples of 20. So if you multiply 70 with 10%, you are going to get a natural number, 7. But if you multiply 70 with 15%, you won't get a natural number. If you multiply 70 with 25%, you won't get a natural number. If you multiply 70 with 30%, you'll get a natural number. But if you multiply it with either 35% or 45%, you won't get a natural number. But you'll get a natural number when you multiply it with 50. So 70, the percentages can be either 10 or 30 or 50. Same is the case for 130. This is 10, 30 or 50. And even 110. This is 10, 30 or 50. So you can remove these also. And the remaining 4, 15%, 25%, 35% and 45%. Because the remaining 4 are 100, 120, 140, 160. All of them are multiples of 20. You multiply them with 15% or 25% or 35% or 45%. You will get a natural number. So these 4 can be either 15 or 25 or 35 or 45. Here also it is 15 or 25 or 35 or 45. Here also it is 15 or 25 or 35 or 45. Here also it is 15 or 25 or 35 or 45. So like we discussed earlier, the first question is fairly straightforward. What is the total number of people who are shortlisted by BCG? The correct answer for the first question is 1080, which is option E. Let us look at the second question. It is given that the number of girls in CR6 was more than that of CR3. Find the absolute difference between the number of boys in CR3 and CR6. CR3 and CR6 have either 20% or 40% girls. The number of students of CR6 is 135. The number of students of CR3 is 115. If you are told that the number of girls in CR6 is more than that of CR3, it would imply that in CR6, the number of girls will be 135 into 40%, which is equal to 54. This is 135 into 2 by 5, that is 54. So the number of boys will be 135 minus 54, which is 81. For CR3, the number of girls will therefore be equal to 115 into 20%, which is equal to 23, and therefore the number of boys will be 115 minus 23, which is equal to 92. Therefore, the difference between the number of boys in CR3 and CR6 will be 92 minus 81, which is 11. So the correct answer for the second question is 11. Let us look at the third question. Find the minimum number of girls, PGP2 girls, who appeared in the hiring test conducted by BCG. Here we have the number of students of each of the 9 classrooms. For each of the classrooms, we have a set of percentages of number of girls. Now we are trying to minimize the total number of girls in PGP2. For that, if you are given a list, what we have to do is we have to multiply the highest percentage with the lowest number. If you think about it, 20 and 40 have to be multiplied with 135 and 115. If you are trying to minimize the number of girls, the smaller number, that is 115, you multiply with the larger percentage, and the larger number, that is 135, you multiply with the smaller number. This is how you minimize the total number. If you are given a set of numbers, say 3 set of numbers A, B and C, and you are given another 3 numbers X, Y and Z, you arrange both of these sets in ascending order. That is, you have A less than B less than C, and you have X less than Y less than Z. If you are trying to minimize the product, then you multiply A with Z, B with Y and C with X. If you are trying to maximize the product, multiply in the same order, that is multiply C with Z, B with Y and A with X. Remember this trick. If you are trying to minimize, multiply in the reverse order, that is multiply AZ plus BY plus CX. If you are trying to maximize the pairwise product, multiply the smallest with the smaller one, that is AX plus BY plus CZ. This will work in most of the cases, and this will definitely work over here. There might be some conditions with respect to positive numbers and negative numbers and all of them, but in normal cases this should definitely work, and that is what we are going to do over here. Now find the minimum number of PGP2 girls who appeared in the test conducted by BCG. First, if you are looking at CR3 and CR6, they have 20% and 40%. We are trying to minimize the number of girls, so that will be 135 into the smaller number, because 135 is larger, into 20% plus 115 into 40%. Next, if you are looking at the set of 10%, 30% and 50%. 10, 30 and 50, the numbers are 110, 70 and 130. So we'll multiply 70, which is the smallest number, with the highest percentage. So this is 70 into 50%. Plus 110, which is the middle number with the middle percentage, 30%, plus 130 into 50%. Similarly, the last set is 15, 25, 35 and 45. We'll multiply 45 with the smallest number, which is 100%. You are going to get 45 only. Plus 35 will multiply with 120. Plus we are going to get 140 into 25% plus 160 into 15%. If you add all of them, you are going to get the answer. You can calculate it. The answer will be, if you simplify, equal to exactly 300. Let us look at the next question. The next question is the exact opposite. Here we are required to calculate the minimum number of PGP2 boys who appeared in the test. We know that the total number of students who appeared in the BCG test is 1080. Now, if you are trying to minimize the number of boys, you have to basically maximize the number of girls. So, exactly what we have done earlier, we'll do the repeat process. Here we'll multiply because we are trying to maximize the number of girls. The highest percentage with the highest number. That is 135 will multiply now with 40%. And 115 will multiply with 20%. For 70, 110 and 130, we have to multiply with 10, 30 and 50. 70 is the smallest number, we'll multiply it with 10%. 110 is the middle number, we'll multiply it with 30%. 130 is the largest number, we'll multiply it with 15%. Next, with respect to the last set, which is 100, 120, 140 and 160, we have to multiply them with percentages, which is 15, 25, 35 and 45. You multiply 100 with 15%, 120 with 25%, 140 with 35% and 160 with 45%. You multiply them and then you will calculate the total. This will, I think, come to around 348. This is the maximum number of girls who are part of the BCG hiring test. Therefore, the number of boys, the minimum number of boys will be 1080 minus 348, which will be equal to 732. Manan Agarwal is saying, won't this take a lot of time? What is the way to do these kind of questions faster? See, this is a lengthy set. There is no other way to put it. This is a lengthy set, but the point of data interpretations, like I mentioned in my stream yesterday, is that even if you burn more time, you will most likely get this question correct. Now, that can't be set with respect to logical reasoning questions. Logical reasoning questions, if the idea strikes you, you'll be able to get it correct. If the idea doesn't strike you, you won't get that question correct. Data interpretation questions, on the other hand, are basically questions you will get correct if you spend time. These are safe bets. You need to spend 10 to 15 minutes. Then you will be able to most likely get the data interpretation set correct. That is basically how it works. Okay, guys, that is it for today. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll answer one more question before ending the stream. Prince Rashi is saying, is games and tournaments, can it be ignored? No, it can't be ignored. That is one of the important types of questions that are asked in LRDA. So definitely, please don't ignore it. Venkat VR, this is the last question I'll answer. Okay. Sir, I've started my CAT preparation recently and I've covered only a few topics in quant. I think I'm strong in VRC and I don't even start DLR, sir. Can I at least get 80 to 85 percentile? Any tips? Don't ignore any section. I think that is very important, because if you ignore any section, then you might not clear the cutoff in that section. And getting minimum number of questions correct in each of the section is the low hanging fruit. That is, it is very easy with just 1 week of preparation to get at least 10 to 15 marks in each of the 3 sections. So if you ignore them, those are easy marks. The smallest, lowest hanging fruit you should definitely take. So don't ignore any section completely. Chaitanya Jain, can you please comment again? I'll answer that question. Okay, after I take a dash cut, the question or sets which I'm not able to solve, I watch the video solution and note them down. Is this a good analysis strategy or there can be improvement? Before you watch the video solution, all I tell you is give it your best shot. If you are not able to answer it in the mock, still put in a lot of effort and try to answer the question on your own before you look at the video solution. The reason for that is the amount of effort you put in will be as useful for you when you look at the video solution, because then you will understand it very easily, and more importantly, you will remember the method when it comes again later on. If you just watch the video solution without putting in the effort beforehand, you will forget it after a couple of days. And if a similar question comes in the examination, you won't be able to answer it later on. But if you put in a lot of effort, especially in LRDI, try all sorts of things and you're not able to answer it, then you look at the video solution, you'll remember the video solution later on. Okay guys, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I wanted to do 2 sets, but I'm not feeling too well, so I'll take a rest. We'll again catch up some other time. Most likely we'll be doing another session on Thursday, so please do tune in on Thursday at 8 p.m.